Hello and welcome back to Beauty Bears All. And I'm looking crazy right now. My allergies are really bad. And anyway, I was recording over the weekend, and then when I posted the video for this week's podcast, it did not have volume. So here we are again. But the video that I originally posted was about boundaries and setting boundaries, how to set boundaries with, people in the business field and personal life. And my allergies, as you can see, things are just to the point where I know it's a spiritual attack, and maybe those of you have no idea what I'm talking about, but there are things that I want to discuss on this show that are just not allowed, and they're not coming to fruition. And every time I try to record and try to set dates to post and to be consistent and everything, always something happens with the tech, because we get the shows done in time, and in editing or posting, or when we post it, there's no audio. So if any of you are real spiritual and trust that there's a lot of craziness going on currently, you can send some positive vibes and prayers in this direction. So let's continue. Thank you all for your patience. I was just talking to you guys for 2 minutes and the damn thing was paused. See, I'm telling you, like, everything that I want to share and post and tell you all is just being blocked some way, somehow. But we're gonna continue. The show must go on. So I don't even know what I said in the first few minutes, because I paused it thinking that I unpaused it and it was still paused. So let me reiterate briefly, quickly. Thank you so much for your patience. There's a lot of things that have been trying to get this show to not come on, from tech, from media, from the dates that we posted. Like, I just posted one, like I said the other day, it was gonna drop tonight at 7, on point, timely, and there's no audio whatsoever. My laptop was perfectly fine when I recorded it. I checked mics, everything was working, and now it's not. And so all this to say, Beauty Bears All was also supposed to be posted every Wednesday. I think by the end of the week, you guys are going to get an episode, hopefully weekly. So if it's not out on Wednesday, it should be out before the end of the week, so that you guys can listen in. And I appreciate you all for your patience, right? Because this has been the same thing when I did Reality After Darkness, my other podcast. There was always some hiccup, something that is trying to block me from speaking and sharing things and doing the show. So, but for whatever reason, the show must and will go on, providing that we can get all these things worked out. And even if they're not worked out, even if my videos are not the best edited, even if the podcast episode is not the best, even if I don't look camera ready every single episode, we are going to get this stuff out there. And I may just go audio and not on video at all, just so that we can have that. But for now, we are doing our very best. My allergies are today's factor, and then yesterday was this, and tomorrow will be something else. But the show must go on, especially with all the things that are happening. The show was supposed to be originally about Beauty Bears All, but it could be just me. Not that I'm beauty, but like, I'm a beauty professional, and I'm gonna bear it all. I'm gonna share about everything that is going on, whether you are interested in it or not. These are things that are important or interesting to me, and I will share it. And if you guys like the information and the content, I appreciate you all, and I hope that you will stick around and just join me, because it's gonna be a bumpy road, period. So we're gonna dive in today. The other day's show was supposed to be about boundaries and things like that. And if I said this already, I apologize. I just don't remember, and I don't have the time to stop this video, start it all over, because again, this has been my process for a year now, with my old podcast and now with this one. And every time we edit and we go back, and this is missing and something or other. So that is all. We are going to get this show on the road. So today's episode is going to be about whatever I feel. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to discuss what's going on in the world, current events, but more the spiritual implications of it and the physical manifestation of these things, the combination of all of it. And if this sounds like something you want to know about, stay tuned. Here we go. Right now, we have been seeing a lot of weird weather. And when I'm saying weird is we're getting a lot of storms more frequently in places that didn't have that much of an issue with storms. We're getting water in an hour that is destroying complete cities, towns, states even, countries even. So we're getting earthquakes that are causing tsunamis more frequently. And I know there are earthquakes every day all over the place. The things are speeding up. Even time is speeding up. There's a lot of, if any of you grew up with the Twilight Zone or parents and grandparents watching the Twilight Zone, there's a lot of freaky, eerie, weird stuff going on. And there are going to be people that don't believe that anything weird is going on, but most people are aware that shit is not normal right now. Are we in a movie, like on a movie set, and Hollywood is speeding things up? And when I say that is because I feel like we're living on a world stage where only people that are paying attention understand that we're all actors in this huge movie set. And right now, those in power, those in control, are speeding up. They don't want us to see the files. You know what I'm talking about if you live in the States, or if you haven't been living under a rock for the last few years. You know, there's a lot of things happening that you're hearing about. Political people, people in power, people in control are harming and unaliving people, because now we have to filter how we speak on social media and in videos. We have to use words like unalive and P-files, and we know all this censorship is happening, and there's more censorship coming to a theater near you, to a neighborhood near you. We're not going to be allowed to say much of anything. And then just this morning, before coming on here to record this show for you all, what prompted me to hurry up and get on here and speak to you, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between, is that time is speeding up. Now they want us all to have this digital ID, this biometrics ID. And so now this is going to control how we interact on social media and how we interact in the world stage. Buying and selling will now be even under more of a filter. Now, what is their purpose of having us have the real ID or our passports, or now a digital ID where you have to show who you are? Like, not bad enough that we have our cell phones. They used to do the thumb. Some of you still have the thumb to get in. Now they got your eye retina. They got your facial imprint. They know. They have facial recognition. It's everywhere. It's been happening since even during Obama's time, and maybe even before that. They have been gathering up information. This whole don't come over the border and all that, this has a bigger thing that's going on. And what's up with our government saying that the Anunnaki is coming, or that they're already here? What's up with this 12-mile long or 12-kilometer mile, whatever the heck, the length is kilometers. So there's been people saying 12 miles and some people are saying 12 kilometers, which is what the rest of the world is using to measure this craft that is said to be coming straight to the earth. Now, whether you believe we live on a ball, in a dome, and in anything, it doesn't really matter. At this point, they're telling us that something is coming to the earth. And not only that, they're trying to get us to lock into this biometrics. And what this gentleman was saying, that if any of you understand the wheat and the tare parable, there's going to be people that are light and then people that are dark, and there's going to be a separation, which is what they call the wheats and the tares during the last season of this show. And I say it like that to make it easy and break it down for people. We're in a reality show, and our season is coming to a close, and it's gonna go out without a hitch, and all kinds of stuff is gonna come out. We're gonna be seeing some crazy looking things in the sky, which people have already been seeing for the past, I don't know how many years now. You have stuff like Project Bluebeam. They've been predicting that they're going to show that we're getting an alien UFO invasion, and people are going to be abducted, and people are going to leave the planet. Now they're telling us that the Anunnaki are African American looking, and they are tall, 7, 8, 9 feet in height, and that they're hostile or aggressively coming. How do you know these things are aggressive? This is as per social media information, you know. And then that's another thing with AI. How do we know what's real and what's not real anymore? People are seeing things in the sky like humanoid beings, and they're filming and they're uploading it. People in Latin America are saying that these spacecrafts and these people are coming, and they're talking to them and telling them that soon something's gonna happen on the planet, right? Then you have Bible people saying, hey, this is it. This is the last scene, right, of the film before Christ returns. So we got dates now that people have set. September 23rd. Some people even say September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th are supposed to be big dates this year to keep an eye out for. And the government and those around are sharing that this space mothership, I think they call it, this spacecraft is coming towards the Earth. And originally the speculation and the time frame was November, middle of November, end of November. Now we're getting October 31st, Halloween. That's where the portals are opening. That's where they say that the spirit realm and the earthly realm are able to tap in. Are these things coming in during the Halloween era? Because that's when that veil that is here is thinner, and we can tap in, just like they say that this company CERN, and CERN is not the only one. We have it in the United States as well. The thing is that people don't know what's going on because we're just in our bills and our day and our house, and my toe hurts, and oh, did you hear what so and so said, and this one did this and that. We're into the drama. We're just all, I would say like 50% of the population is sleeping. And I want to say maybe even 75% of the population is sleeping. 25% are probably somewhat awake or are aware that something is off. Something feels weird in the air. And it also feels like time is speeding up. Like, you know, you're seeing your kids even are growing up even faster than they used to. I'm 42, and people keep telling me often, like, you don't look like you're in the 40s. And from what I gather is that because time is speeding up so fast, people are not going to look their age because the years just but this has been stuff that was written. Whether you believe in scripts and scrolls and ancient writings, whether or not you believe in God or any deities, but the fact of the matter is the movie has been written by a few civilizations, or more than 10 civilizations have been telling us. The Native Americans, the Hopi, they have also said that there would be about 7 years from when, I want to say they were drilling about 7-8 years ago in a region in North Dakota where they were trying to stop it. And the animals even came out to help the Native Americans and the indigenous of that region, and protesters came out, and this was barely televised. Many people didn't know about it. And the Hopis stated that once that pipeline, or the black snake, which is referring to the pipeline, was going to be built or put into the ground, that we, humanity, had 7 years until the wicked were going to be plucked or removed from the plane, you know, this plane, this earth, this whatever. But then you have scriptures that say that the reapers are going to come back and they're going to separate the wheat from the tares. And now we have this rapture, which rapture was a word made up in the 1800s by the church fathers. Thank you for this information, to my love. because this was an updated information that I got this morning that reminded me when I was in Bible college, yes, because I went to school for theology. I was going to be a theologian and a pastor, etc. Let's not go down that hole. But I left it because of a lot of things that I saw that weren't right in the church system and the structure. But the point being is that when I was studying, they shared that the word rapture means rapazo, and it means to snatch away, I believe in Greek, rapazo. And you're supposed to be snatched, basically abducted. Like this thing has been being put in and shoved down our throats for a long time. So much, in fact, that Project Bluebeam wants to show in our skies all kinds of weird things because technology is more advanced than what they have told us. Technology is light years ahead, right? And we just get little bits and pieces like raindrops here and there. That's how little of the tech we have access to. I mean, you and I. But the people that are in control of the movie set that we're all on, they have power and they can do things that we will say, oh, whoa, some alien or God is coming back. They have something called the voice of God, which will tell you whose voice are you hearing. And I think I mentioned this on my last show. And so this is just a continuation of that and more things that are coming up lately that are just showing up on the main world stage. So crypto, where are we at with crypto? I've invested in crypto and I know many people who have or haven't, who are in, who are not. But supposedly now with this biometric thing is where they're going to control even the people who have crypto. They may make you a millionaire overnight, but when they do, they're going to grab you by the you know what, and they're going to make sure that you follow suit. You follow the rules and you do as they tell you and not what you want to do. Sorry, I'm keeping track of time here so that I am not behind for work and other things that I've got going on. But the point being, I know I squirreled, guys, and I'm sorry. Thank you for following me and thank you for your patience for listening to this whole rant. But there's a lot going on right now, and if we don't submit to this program, to this biometrics, we may not have access to our crypto. And those people who maybe become millionaires overnight from having certain crypto are gonna go and say, you know what, screw it, we're gonna do whatever because now we're wealthy, because supposedly there's going to be a wealth transfer. But in the midst of all of that, there's a lot more things going on. Laws are being removed, new laws and things are being implemented. Everybody around the world outside of the US is warning us because they see something that we don't see. And it's pretty concerning, but again, I want to make sure that I reiterate, this is not a fear channel. This is not to put or promote any kind of fear. This is just for me to make you aware of what things are happening around you. And you have the choice now to go right or left. And it's up to you, right? Do you go with the system because we're terrified of not eating, or we're terrified of not being able to buy and sell? Yeah, because that's what's written in the books, in a lot of books, that if you don't take this chip, or if you don't follow instructions and do what they say, you will not be able to buy and sell. You will not be able to eat. You will not be able to do. That's why they've been telling people for over a decade, grow your own food, stock up your own stuff, not for fear, just so you're prepared for when the storm comes, right? There's a parable, or there's a story really, because it's said to be a story in the scriptures in the Old Testament, where Joseph, this guy Joseph, he's got brothers. These brothers pick on him. If you haven't heard the story of Joseph, go look into it, because I'm only going to give you a quick synopsis. You know, Joseph, his brothers are jealous of him because his father is very close with him, and he's the only child of one of the his mother, and he favored this mother for whatever reason, right? You could read all that in detail. But to fast forward, they're so mad and jealous of him that they take him and they bury him in a hole. And then from there, he gets taken out of there. Someone finds him, takes him, and they put him in the palace in Egypt. And this king, he's in jail, whatever. And there's a bunch of people having dreams. And in these dreams, the only person to understand the dreams was this man. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's very important. Joseph interprets this dream that this king, Pharaoh, right? Because Pharaoh, basically the ruler, but I want to say king because it makes it easier, but really Pharaoh is the correct title. So he interprets this dream, and then when Joseph tells him what the dream means, there's going to be 7 years of prosperity, lots of food, hand over foot, everybody's doing well, thriving, blah, 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 but then there's 7 years of famine. And in that 7 years of famine is where they had to stock up during the 7 years of prosperity so that they could have in the 7 years of not having anything. And if you think about it, the scripture continues to talk about 7 years, or 7 this, 7 that. That is a lot of 7 symbolism and a lot of things. 7 days of the week, the 7th day is the Sabbath. That's the day supposedly that the Creator is going to come back and set his people free from slavery and the captivity. But then some people have the theory that God is the captor and he's the one who put us in slavery because he put us in here knowing that this was what's going to happen to us. So whatever the narrative that you want to go with is, that's fine. But the purpose of this story is that we've had 7 years before this, and maybe not to this exact date. I want to say before 2020. People have had, and people were thriving, People's stock was going up. People were buying properties, selling properties, making money. And maybe even more recently, people have, during the pandemic, we know that a lot of billionaires were made because people were buying everything online. We know that Jeff Bezos became super, uber duper wealthy during the pandemic, and many other corporations. And if you look, this is a system where the ones that are really, really thriving are in some kind of corporate type structure. And when I say corporate, all the way from businesses, the beauty salons that are thriving are the corporate ones. The stores that are thriving are Walmarts and Targets and the big box stores. The malls are they're barely holding on because you can get everything on the internet, Macy's and all these things. People are closing these stores down because we're buying more from Amazon, from Walmart, Targets, these big stores. People no longer want to go to these big, small mom and pop businesses, these small salons and things like that. People are going into these big brand places. And guess what? They have the resources and they can afford to have cheap prices and things and provide cheap services. But these other places that, can't afford it are losing the battle. They're losing the battle, and soon we're going to have to depend on the system to provide for us. That's where this whole story was going, that soon we're not going to have money coming in because AI is taking over. They've got robots doing our jobs. They got chefs that are robots with 3,000 recipes programmed into them. I just saw they could do your nails by sticking your finger into a machine and it'll print out beautiful designs. We are losing this battle if we do not wake up and stick together. Those that are not the sheep, right? The sheeple that are sleeping. You got those that are supposed to be awake, and then you got those that are still sleeping, and they're like counting sheep in their sleep because they're still in some kind of comatose. They're in this this coma. And it's like the movie The Matrix. If you don't get unplugged from the system, from this beast system, you are going to fall with this whole system. You're going to fall for anything. If you don't stand up for something, you're going to fall for everything. And during the pandemic here, I told people, do not get the vax. And I don't want to keep using the words because they filter and censor everything that you're saying. But I told people, don't get the jab. And what did people do? They got the jab. And who were the people that's cancer turned on right away? My father, even as an example, he even noticed that he got sick as soon as he got the jab. My dad's Parkinson's turned on. Maybe he would have gotten it in his 70s, but in his early 60s, absolutely not. He has not been feeling well since he got the 2. Imagine had they gone for the 3rd and the 4th. Both my parents, they said, do it, do it, do it, because what they do is fear tactics. They make you fear. So if you had been saving up food and stocking up, or went off grid and built your own little farm and communities, then right now you won't have anything to really stress about. And those communities that are building a safe haven and a refuge for those of us that may not have been able to prepare this whole time, bless you and thank you, because we will be coming to these communities and we will help you and we will help grow these communities, because anyway, that's neither here nor there. But there's a lot of people that are on the DL that have little communities where they're farming and they're growing stuff, and they're prepared because they understand that if we don't comply with this system, we will not be fed, and we will not be able to work, and we will not be able to pay for our homes and our roof over our heads. So many people the last at least decade, or maybe even longer, have been setting themselves aside and apart from this whole system, and they've been finding ways, alternative ways, to heal themselves, to provide for themselves, and to create their own financial independence. So if you didn't get ready, you basically don't have that much time to get ready, but there will be ways to get to safety. And the reason why I say that is because this is what happened during the days of Noah. Okay, weird. My video did some weird stuff once again, but if I'm repeating this, I apologize. But many people are not aware that in the days of Noah, there were people that did not make it onto the ship, right? But there were people that were taken out of here before that whole flood happened. So who are these people? There were people that went all the way back from Adam's descendants. Adam had children all the way down to Noah, and in between you had people that did live as righteously as possible. And these people don't want you to know that, because they want you to think that only 8 people were the ones who survived. And the truth is, I'm a whistleblower for the scripture truth. And whether you believe in the scriptures or not, the book of Jasher or the book of Jubilees describes in great detail that about 600,000 people were taken out of here by chariots. And when I say chariots, I mean crafts. I mean spaceship looking things. And I know, everybody, this sounds crazy, but if you go and you study all the biblical people, these people have all been visited by angelic beings or beings from somewhere else. And I'm not talking about aliens. I'm talking about angelic forces. There are good and there are bad ones. And the only way to know which one is which is to see the fruit and to use discernment and to know how do you feel in their presence. Because even people were fearful when angels showed up. But Enoch was one of the people who was taken out of here by crafts. They call them chariots, but there were no, trust me when I tell you, there were no horse and buggy coming from the sky down to save anybody. There's no horses coming down. And even if they have a vision and a description of Jesus Christ with a bunch of horses and everything, they were chariots. And they assumed that these chariots had horses because that is what chariots looked like back in those days. But Enoch heard and Elijah heard. These were things that were so far advanced that they didn't even have any real way of describing what these chariots or what these ships or vehicles were. And I know that word sounds funny, but over 3,000 years ago, people in India had some craft called a Vimana. You can look this up. It starts with the letter V, Vimanas. You look up the Vimanas and they have blueprints of how to recreate them. They look almost like bell-shaped. Now, these bell crafts used to take people here and there. The indigenous people, the Aztec, Maya, Inca, and those Native Americans from Central and South America, they also had crafts. You can see it on their writings of the wall. These Aztec and these different people, they have these different mouthpieces and machinery with buttons on it. They don't want you to know that this is not new technology, that this was, and because of the flood, all of that was wiped out and mankind had to start from zero. And that's why they tell us the story that we started just chiseling on shit. Yeah, because they hit the reset button. And they've been hitting the reset button a lot of times because they don't like what humanity's doing when we wake up. When we wake up, they're like, boop, we gotta hit the reset button. Let's start this movie all over again. And this time, we're gonna tell them that we created them. Or we're gonna tell them that aliens from the Pleiadians and from this planet and that planet, that everybody else created us and that there is no creator, that they're their own creator and everything. Which, there could be some truth to all of it. But we have to use discernment. And for the fact that most of you, I'm sure, that are listening to me have never heard of the 600,000 people that were taken out of here before Noah's flood. Because they want you to think that everybody's evil and that there's no hope for humanity and nothing. No, there are people that have set themselves aside for this time. They have either moved to the country, they have moved outside of the United States, and people that have woken up and they are preaching and teaching and sharing. And you don't have to be under the umbrella of Christianity to be awake, to know that something is off, to know that this is not what we were created for, to be debt slaves and servants, because we have been slaves and servants from the very beginning of time. And even if you say, well, it's in the Old Testament and it's in this book and this, yeah, a lot of this stuff was twisted to, again, portray the movie that the true creator is evil and that the true creator wants to annihilate us all, and that is further from the truth. That is the demiurge, or the fallen beings that have been deceiving the entire world, making us believe that the God of the scriptures, that one that was there was the real one, when there has been 2 or 3 or 4 written and twisted into the scriptures. And then you see there's this one in there that's very finely spelled out through there: loving and merciful, patient and kind, is willing and has this soft, kind, gentle approach to humanity. And then you hear of this wicked one that he's just gonna blow and throw and do and this. No, 600,008 people were saved during the Noah's Ark time. 600,008 people. 8 was the story of Noah's Ark. But there were people that lived in the mountains. It's set apart. They don't want these books out. They're in the book of Adam and Eve. It talks about Christ coming back to redeem, to help, to wake us up. Christ didn't come to be a deity of this world. They twisted that story. He came to wake us up, to let us know that the creator of this realm right now, or the ones in control here, are the captors, are the slavers, are the ones keeping humanity down, keeping us confused, because they're the author of confusion. The true creator is not the author of confusion. The true creator loves you. Just like I say to people all the time, if you have a child, you give birth to that child, or you are raising a child that you've adopted or whatever, nieces, nephews, even your pets. How much do some people love their children, their family, their nieces and nephews, or even a little creature that is innocent? That same love that those good people have for those creatures and all that. The Creator, the true Creator, loves us so much more than that. It even says, twisted up in all this yuckiness that they wrote in these scribes, and the scribes were lying with a lot of stuff. The translators were lying in a lot of these stuff. They removed books. Constantine was the reason why. There's a system that doesn't want you to know the true Creator loves you and sent Christ, which is supposed to be the image of the Creator itself. So say the Word came into flesh, but we are also the Word in flesh, because we're sharing this love, this truth. We're sharing from above. We've all come down here as specks of light to help wake people up. And that is the example of Christ. Whether you believe him as a Christian leader, as a Muslim prophet, there's so many people, the New Age community, say Christ consciousness, whatever it is that you subscribe to. The point is, they do not want us to know that the true, living, set apart, so set apart, is loving and wants us to go back home. But there are things that we need to get in order so that we can continue to cleanse our body, because we have been told that meat is okay to eat. Killing animals, even if we're not doing it, we're participating in the mass murder of animals, the mass unaliving of animals, and we are consuming that, and it lowers our light, it dims our light. We cannot take a candle and turn the candle on and put it underneath the chair. That light is going to be so far off, and that's what they've been doing to us. They took us little lights that came into this world, those people that understand what I'm talking about, those people that are awake to receive this information, they took the little light and they put it underneath the table or a chair to dim us, so that the world wouldn't know what was going on, and that people can still sleep and buy into this BS. The Creator is not running the show here currently. The Creator is on its way to declare, this is enough. This has gone on far too long, and I've given you time, because I am a patient Creator, to change and see that I'm loving and that I care, but this isn't it. So I'm going to take my people from out of here, and you guys can self-destruct and do whatever you want to do, but you're no longer going to destroy my people. You're no longer going to have my children suffer. But those of you that like chaos, those of you that like death and murder and corruption and lies and stealing, those of you that like that, I will separate myself from you, says the Creator. It says it in through the writings. The Creator absent. We're going to be absent from the Creator if we choose to continue down this road, because we don't want righteousness. We don't want the light. We prefer the darkness. We prefer the bullshit story that the Creator is murdering people left and right and causing all these tragedies. No. The Creator was giving people time to change, because he's given us another chance. And those people that believe in reincarnation, you've been given a chance after chance after chance. And if you don't wake up now, the ship is gonna leave without you. Stop the evil crap that you're doing. Stop the adultery and affairs and harming people. Only thing that Christ said we had to do was love the Creator with everything that we have, and to love one another. And if we're not loving one another, then we failed the whole mission. We're supposed to be kind to one another. This hate, this whole you're not good enough, you're not bad. No, you believe in this Creator, and it doesn't matter. Because the people that are in control here know the true Creator, and they know that their time is short. So the stage is speeding up, and everything is happening and happening and happening, because they have to do what they got to do, because they know the Creator gave them a time limit. A time limit to mess with us. But we got to wake up and keep waking other people up. because our families don't listen to us, okay? And that's all right. We're not supposed to wake up our family. When I heard that the other day, that was a huge aha moment. We're not to wake up our family. We're just to share the message, and whoever receives it, it was for them. If you don't receive the message, then it wasn't for you, and that's okay. But for you to think that only 8 people were saved during Noah's Ark's time is a lie. There were plenty of people, and the scripture says that 1/3 of the earth will be safe, or a quarter, between 1/3 and a quarter, but I'm pretty sure it said 1/3, and I'm paraphrasing because I'm not reading it right now, but 2/3 of everything was going to be eliminated. Why? Because you cannot mix the light with the darkness and leave us there forever. Does that make sense? The darkness will destroy itself. Darkness with darkness, let it destroy itself. And I say darkness, and I don't mean colors, and I don't mean ethnicities, and I don't mean people. I'm saying those that do not shine a light in the darkest places of the world. Those that do not cry for justice, for humanity, for the children that are being hurt and unalived, screaming. So much wickedness here going on in this place, and we still think that the Creator is the cause of it, and it's not. This place has been infiltrated by other entities that have us as slaves here, and they've been writing that we should be good slaves and good servants to this system, and no one is bold enough to say enough is enough. I'm up, and I'm not following for this crap anymore. I'm not going to feed the beast system anymore. I'm not going to the corporations anymore. If every one of us stuck together and we all woke up, and if we truly loved one another, we would stand together. Those that have the ears to hear, let them hear. Those with the eyes to see, let them see. That the Creator, the true one, set the captives free already. We're no longer in these chains. We're no longer captive. We are free to break free from this matrix, this world. We have authority because the King came down with the keys to unlock this place. We were in the abyss. We were in darkness. Now we have been set free. And now that we're light, we need to bring that light forth. And right now, our entire place, this whole world, is captured by darkness. But it's almost over, everyone. It's almost over. The end of the movie is almost over. And guess what? If you believe in some of the stuff that's written, because a lot of it, like I said, has been corrupted to keep you in prison. But if you believe in some of it, and a lot of the themes of the movies, the good people win. Okay? If you go according to the narrative and all the stories and all the movies, the good people win. So do not be afraid. The reason why I'm sharing this is because our brother, our whatever, if you want to call him your brother, if you want to call him the Creator, if you want to call him the Word, if you want to call him Jesus Christ, I call him Yahusha. That's the Jewish or Hebrew name for him. But Christ, one that the Jews call the Messiah, whomever you choose to call him, he came to set us free and to let us walk in the same authority that he has, because he says, if you've seen the Father, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. So if we understood his true message and his true purpose, that they did corrupt. They said he ate fish. He never ate fish. They said he did this and that. He did not. He walked around trying to gather everybody from every walk, every dark place. He was trying to pull everybody out. From adultery, from being unalivers, from being the tax collectors, from being lawyers. He was getting disciples from all walks of life. This is to show you that he loves you all. You messed up, He came to save you and get you out. You fell from grace. He came to get you out of there. Let you know that there's another way. Come back to the source. Cleanse your temple. Cleanse your body, your mind, and stop consuming the garbage that they're trying to corrupt you with and pollute you with. Get rid of it. It has no place here because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And the kingdom of heaven is within us. So when we start to shine the kingdom of heaven from within us into this realm, there's no more darkness can dwell here. So soon, the darkness has to go. We're the ones doing the reset this time. Even though the darkness thinks that they're going to be able to push the reset button, it is the Creator with His elect. And I'm going to continue this on another video, on another podcast series, episode, whatever you want to call it. But this has been Beauty Bears All podcast. I am excited to share more with you all on our spiritual growth, our awakening, our transformation, and the beauty that is going to come out of all this darkness, because soon all this wickedness shall no longer exist. All this stuff that is unjust will be balanced out. The one who has the key to set us free has set us free. So let us stop living like we're slaves. Let us stop living like we're persecuted. The Creator has set us free, and now we are free at last. No longer put yourself in a box. You are free. Pursue righteousness and light as often as you can, and it should be daily. But all the best to you all. Be kind to one another. Be patient with each other. Love on each other. Do not hate one another, and myself included, because I got some explaining to do. Take care, everybody.